So we're gonna go with atmospheric, or actually, let's go with in Netflix here because it's the highest one. So we want to find all the movies that have this tag in it. So from the tags RDD that we have here, we're gonna filter this is 0, 1, 2. So X of 2 is equal to, what was it? So now we should have only the tags that have this as in Netflix queue. If we do count, we should get 131, and we do. Okay, so the next step will be to get the like unique list of the movies that we have filtered out right now, because we just want the names of the movies, but we might have multiple movies that were given the same tag by different users. User ID, movie ID tag. So this is the data we have at this point, and we want to find all the unique movies. So we can do map, and all we care about is the number of movie, basically. So the key can be movie ID, which is X at 1, and the value can be like anything we want because we don't really care about it. We only need to get a a unique list of movie IDs that we have left here after this filter, which means we can reduce by key here. And the return would be anything, just 1, because we don't care about the return. So now we have unique list of movies that had a tag of in Netflix queue. Who didn't follow up of this step? Everyone good on this part? Okay. So now if we have this, so let's call this, you have something? Yeah, Tristan.
Yeah, like when I was doing the reduce by key and all that there, I was noticing that it was kind of giving me like almost the same thing from the step prior, which I found was a bit strange and all there. Like after I was getting like the movies with the tag and mapping it, and then right after that, doing the reduce by key was giving me like the same result. I was like a bit confused about that.
Yeah, I also don't know what's going on, but maybe there's some lines that the like it had some characters in it that cannot be used as a key or something. I'm not sure what's going on, but once I did like count by key, it counted by the key, and we got a dictionary, and that's how I did it. But it's something to look into. But to look into it, the way that you probably should do is like start taking out parts of the data and seeing to find out which element is causing the error or something. Because I don't think there's other way to find to try to narrow down the problem to find it. Okay, so here we got to a point where we have, let's say it, movies, Netflix tag. So now if we join this with the with this RDD, we should be able to get just the ratings of these movies. So in this RDD, we have ratings. For every rating, we have the movie ID, the user ID, the rating, timestamp, the name of the movie, and the genre of the movie. So to do the joining, we would need to map the, we need to create a key value pair where the key, like the movie ID would be the key because we will be joining with it. And the rest would be the, actually, do we need the rest? We don't care about the user ID. We care about the rating. So let's put the rating here, 0, 1, 2, plus 2. We care about the name of the movie. So 4. And I don't think we care about the genre at this point. So this is what data we're going to keep. So we have the movie ID as the key, and this is the value. And now we can join it with this. Because this already has a key value pair where the key is the movie ID and the value is number 1. Okay, so we have the movie ID, the rating, the name of the movie, and number 1. We don't care about number 1. We just put it here to have a key value pair. But right now, we should not have a movie that is not in this list. So if we have a look at the full list, 3060 should be somewhere here. And here it is. So now at this point, I'm going to clean up the data first. So we care about keeping the movie ID. We care about keeping this, but we don't care about keeping this. So I'm going to make the movie ID a tuple of 1 value. And then I will add to it, this. So this is what this would be at x of 1 of 0. Okay, any questions so far?
Makes sense.
Okay. So now we want to calculate the average, like the the average of the ratings. So we actually could have used the 1, so let's add it. X at 0, X at 1, 1, and X at 2. So we have the movie, the rating, number 1, and the name of the movie. I'm going to cast the rating to a float. Okay. So actually, we would want to reduce by key now. So let's have it also set up here. So the movie ID would be the key, and this would be the value. So the movie ID is the key, and the value is a tuple of the rating, number one, and the name of the movie. So what we do next from here is similar to what we've done multiple times now. Now this is the value we're getting whenever the keys are matching. So we need to return something similar to it. So for the first value, I'm going to add them up. For the second value, I'm also going to add them up. What do we do for the name of the movie? How do we reduce the name of the movie between two movies? Anyone?
Pardon?
How do we reduce the name of the movie? Like we reduced the rates by adding them up. We reduced the number one to count by adding them up. How do we reduce the name of the movie? So taking these two values, these will be reduced to one value. How do we do it? We're adding these up, 4 and 5 and 1 and 1. But the name of the movie, what do we do with it?
You just leave it as x of 2.
So we can just pick one of it, right? Because they will be the same. So we can just return one of them. So x of 2 or y of 2 would do the same thing. So now if we look at what we are having left here, now we have for every movie, these are the movies that we filtered out based on the in Netflix queue or something, based on the tags. We have the sum of all the ratings for each movie, the count of those ratings. So now we can simply map. We'll have the movie ID first, and then we'll have at x of 1 of 0 divided by x of 1 of 1. But I'm also going to keep the count just for us to look at it. And we want to keep the movie name. Okay, so such movie has something is wrong here, is it? It can't be this bad. Well, it looks like it is this bad. 58 out of. Is that true? Well, I think it is, but that's a huge amount of bad. I want to double check this just to make sure we don't have anything wrong. I'm kind of cheating here, but well, not really, but it's fine. It depends on how big our data is. We might not be able to do this. What's the filter? Okay. The movie ID is what? 3060. Okay, something is wrong with our calculations because here we have what, like this is not 60. Why does it say 60? This is very less than the number we have here. So I'm wondering if we did something wrong. have for every movie. Okay. Then we are mapping. So we have the movie ID, the rating, and number one. And once we reduce by key, x0 plus y0, x1 plus y1. Okay, found the bug. I don't know how many of you are following at this point, but well, I found the bug.
Trying to.
Yeah. Okay, so 3.8 is a reasonable average. Okay, so this is the average rating of every movie. Now, if we want to find the maximum one based on the first element and the value, or like in the thing, so it would be this movie, but it has one rating only, so that's not good. So we can filter out something here. So filter where x is where x3, 0, 1, 2, actually 2 is greater than 20. And now this is the highest rated movie that we started with based on the filter of having a tag of in Netflix queue. So who has any questions? I'm going to share this notebook with you and the video. So I would really hope that you go over it and try to understand the analysis we did here.
I won't lie, it's extremely layered and stacked. So yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, maybe it's good to divide everything. So you know what? I'll take it step by step. So here we joined the RDD of the tags that we are left with. So actually, before when we analyzed the tags, we had we left at a point where we have a list of the movies that we found based on that include this tag in it. So this is the list of the movies. This is the RDD, movie and number one, like movie ID and number one. And then we joined it with the ratings, and we're left with this. So basically here we have all the ratings of the movies that we found in the previous search based on the tag. So for everyone, based on the join, we have the movie ID, the rating, and the title of the name, like the movie, and the number one that we added to be able to do the join to have the map and to have the key value pair. So let's say at this step we just clean it up. So joined and Netflix ratings. So that's what we have at this point. Now the process is just basically similar to what we've done before, in which you want to get. So right now, after this join, we are left with a selected number of movies, not all the ratings that we started with. Because after the join, the movie ID that was not available in the in here, the movies in Netflix tag RDD, they were not added from the ratings. They were selected out, like filtered out of the ratings. So we are left with the ratings only that belong to the movies that we found here, because we joined the two RDDs together and we cleaned it up and we have this now. So now if we want to find the highest average rated movie based on this data, it's similar to what we've done before. So this is the RDD now that we're working with. And the first step would be to map it to a key value pair, where the key is the movie ID and the value contains the rating and the number 1 to keep track of like how many occurred. So this would be the key, the movie ID, and the value would be X at 1, sorry, which is the rating, and I'm gonna cast it to a float. And the second thing would be number 1. And we also want to keep track of the name of the movie, 012, so that's at 2. So this is the key, which is the movie ID, and this is the value, which is the rating, the number 1, and the name of the movie. So at this point, we can reduce by key. And this is the key. So these are matching, like all 3 of them are matching. So we want to reduce these values. We want to add up the ratings, and we want to add up the ones to keep track of how many occurred. And the return of this, like the reduced by key, needs to be very similar, like exactly the same type as the input. So it needs to be similar to this. So the first part would be the X at 0 plus the Y at 0. This is this part, the sum of the ratings. And then the next part would be the X at 1 plus the Y at 1. This is the occurrences, the count. And the last part would be the name of the movie, but they both have the same name of the movie. So it doesn't matter if we select X at 2 or Y at 2. They both have the same name of the movie, so we just want one of them. So at this point, I'm not sure what to call it anymore. So Netflix sum count, I would call it. So now what's the last step?
I think you have to, like, if you want, you would want to filter out the counts of ratings that are like below 10 or something.
Okay, that's it. Sure, we can do that. So filter this would be X at 1 here, 1, 1. So X at 1, 1, that is greater than 10, let's say. Okay, what's next?
Divide the rating by the occurrences.
So divide the sum of the rating by the occurrences. So we want to keep the first element, which is the movie ID. And then we can divide x at 1, 0 by x at 1, 1. So this gets us the average rating. Okay, now if we want to find the maximum, we can specify the maximum and we can specify what part of it we want to find the max on, which is x at 1, which is this thing, the average rating. And this is the movie with the maximum average rating, but I actually lost track of the name. So here, when we did this part, we took the movie ID, the average rating. We should also take the name. So X was here. This X at 1, 0, 1, 2. So X at 1, 2 would be the name. Okay, secrets and lies is the one.